नाबदू नसलील्ला रसूलुल करीम अम्माबाद फ़ौज़ बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम. First of all, I would like to thanks to all our today participants of this webinar from Facebook and from the Zoom. Briefly, my name is Muhammad Zubair Mukhar. I am associated with AlHuda Center for Islamic Banking and Economics as a Chief Executive Officer. And the purpose of one of the main purpose of this organization to introduce different types of Islamic microfinance products for poverty alleviation and social development. And today we will discuss about that how we can utilize Islamic banking and finance concept at micro level for poverty alleviation and social development. So, briefly, let me introduce you that group size of Islamic banking and finance is about $2.7 trillion, and in this $2.7 trillion, about 83% of Islamic finance industry belong to the Islamic banking. About 9% total size of Islamic finance belong to the Sukuk. About 2% of Islamic finance industry belong to the Kafun industry, and the 1% of the total Islamic finance industry belong to the Islamic microfinance. So unfortunately, the share of Islamic microfinance within the Islamic finance industry is very limited. So we should consider, we should understand that we have to introduce Islamic banking product for micro level as well, so that those segment of the society may understand and may cultivate the benefit of Islamic banking and finance as well. So without any delay, that why we talk about Islamic microfinance. Basically, one of the foremost principle of Islamic microfinance is prohibition of interest. Interest is prohibited in all the divine religions, not only in Islam. Interest is prohibited in Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, and many other religions. But in Islam, we have very strict verdict against riba or interest. Therefore, in many Muslim societies, Muslim people do not utilize interest-based financial products and remain excluded from the financial access. So Islamic microfinance or Islamic finance would be an ideal instrument for financial inclusion for those type of segment of the society who do not utilize banking or financial product due to the religious reasons. So basically, Islamic finance or Islamic microfinance is a very good tool for financial inclusion. And there was one study, according to the World Bank report, that about 46% of the worldwide clients reside in a Muslim world. And similarly, there is another study. They said about 40% of global poverty reside in a Muslim segment, while the total Muslim population in the world is about 23%. So we can say in Muslim segments, in Muslim society, the poverty rate is very much high. And one of the major reason of this poverty is that they do not have a such financials or banking product which are according to their religious belief. Therefore, they are excluded from the financial access. And asset-based financing, by the way, whenever we talk about Islamic finance or Islamic microfinance, This is the asset-based financing, which also include the risk sharing. And whenever we talk about asset-based financing, basically that asset creates a positive economic impact in the lives of the client. And by having this unique attribute that Islamic microfinance is an asset-based financing, therefore it's worked very well in the economic life of their clients. For example, if I'm the poor, I'm the client of conventional microfinance, for example, they have to deal with me with the hard cash, but they do not have any control that where I have to utilize that cash. I took $1,000 from microfinance bank. Might be I will go to Dubai for my player trip. Might be I will pay off my old loan or previous loan to another microfinance institution. So in non-asset based financing, the diversion of fund is very high. But in Islamic microfinance, that is the asset based financing. The microfinance institution, they have to deal with the asset with the poor. When they deal with the asset, basically that asset creates economic impact in their lives. For example, if I approach to the Islamic microfinance institution, they will not give me the cash, they will give me the asset. So what would be the result of from that asset? I will earn something. For example, they give me a ching ching raksha, auto raksha. It means I have earned something. If I will earn something, number one, my payment rate with the microfinance institution would be very good. Number two, after 2 or 3 years, I will be out of the poverty, which is the rare purpose of microfinance as well. So in asset-based financing, by the way, we have seen international financial crisis in 2007. And we learned the lesson that financing without the backing of asset is always risky. But in Islamic microfinance or Islamic banking, we have asset-based financing. The 72% of people living in a Muslim country do not use formal financial services. That this is another reason that due to unavailability of Islamic financial system in Muslim countries, the financial inclusion is very low. Development of rural and halal industry can be made through Islamic microfinance. Sustainable development goals, most of the goals, there are 17 goals in sustainable development goals can be achieved through Islamic finance. For example, for no poverty, for health, for sustainable city, infrastructure development, and many other goals, they are directly linked with banking and finance. So Islamic finance would be an ideal solution to help out to the United Nations to achieve sustainable development goal. The Kafur is a very good product for the, you can say, to ensure the risk under Sharia compliance. And in Takaful, we have a product of micro Takaful, which is being utilized for risk management at micro level. Because we believe that a poor person is also required the protection. A poor person also require different types of product to ensure their lifestyle, ensure their crops, ensure their different types of livelihood products and etc. And then fintech, yes, the future of microfinance or future of banking or future of finance is no limited with the financial technology. And Alhamdulillah that All Islamic banking and financial products are compatible with the technology. So we can utilize technology in a very good aspects for poverty alleviation and social development. I used to be work in African and Central Asian markets. I observed, especially in Africa, they have to utilize, they are utilizing the technology in a microfinance industry in a very good way. There is some products in Kenyan market, even in Somalia, even in Uganda, Tanzania, Nigeria, Senegal, even in Ethiopia, they have a very good mobile banking products. And by the way, the future of the financial technology, future of the fintech is will be belong with the blockchain technology. And I believe that blockchain technology would be would be the future for financial technology. And by the way, whenever we talk about fintech, the fintech meaning financial technology, but it doesn't mean that is the mobile banking. Yes, mobile banking is one of the platform. We have to utilize mobile as a platform, but financial technology is a combination of a different elements. When we talk about financial technology, robo advices is one of the component. Artificial intelligence, the mobile technology, and many other components. This is the merger, we can say, that is the financial technology. Sometimes when we talk about fintech, people consider that mobile banking is a fintech. No, no, no. In financial technology, there are some other elements as well, which is also include artificial intelligence, robo advisors, and many other components. And by having the blockchain technology, now the dynamic of financial technology is totally changed. Yes, when we talk about Islamic microfinance, one and the foremost question which sometime being the lecturer we have to face, that where is Islamic microfinance? Where is the banking? Where is the finance in Islam? Sometimes even some religious scholar also ask the same question to us. Basically, when we talk about Islamic banking and finance, in Islamic banking and finance, uh, here in this slide, what I want to explain in next two slides, I just want to give you a foundation that where is Islamic banking in Islam and how we have derived Islamic banking products. Basically, when we talk about Islamic banking and we talk about Islam, Islam provides us guidance in three major areas. Number one, Islam gives us guidance in Aqidah. Aqidah means faith and belief. Islam gives us guidance in Sharia. Sharia means practice and activities. Then Islam gives us guidance in Ikhlaq, which is moral and ethical values. So we can say these are the three major pillars of Islam. Here, I do not want to be focused on Aqidah and Akhlaq. I will be limited with Sharia because banking and finance belong to the practice and activities. And when we talk about Sharia, Sharia have two branches, Ibadat and Mamlat. What is Ibadat basically? Ibadat mean whatever our relation a human have with the God, that is called Ibadat. I have to pray. This is my relation not with you. This is my relation with the God. I have to pay zakat. This is my relation to God as well. So whatever a human have a relation with God, that is called ibadah. And second branch of Sharia is mamlat. Whatever relation a human have with the human, that is called mamlat. I have to repeat again that what is Sharia, because we have to pronounce Sharia very commonly. Sharia compliant product, either this matter under Sharia or not, and etc. What is Sharia? Sharia means practice and activities. And Islam categorizes practice and activities into two categories: ibadat and mamlat. What is ibadat? A relationship between human and God, that is ibadat. And what is mamlat? A relationship between human to human, that is called mamlat. Mamlat can be political, mamlat can be economic, and mamlat can be a social. Whatever I relation have with my neighbors, that is my social intervention. Whatever relation I have with my children, whatever relation I have with my boss, that is the economic activities. Whatever relation I have with the government, that is the political activities, etc. So under the economic activity, this is the trace route where Islam tell us how to do banking and finance. So we can say that this is the trace route of Islamic banking and financial products, that where Islam says how to do Islamic banking and finance. So I just want to give you understanding that where is the trace root of Islamic banking and finance within Islam. This is the chapter. This is the exact point where Islam tells us how to do banking and finance. And then again, they have another question, that from where we have derived Islamic banking product. What are the sources of Islamic banking product? Basically, the Islamic banking product have been derived from four major sources. Number one, either from holy books of Muslim, the Quran Pak. About 25 to 30% Islamic financial product which are being utilized in Islamic banking industry, we have been derived those product or concepts from directly from Quran. The second source of Islamic banking product or Islamic microfinance products is Sunnah. What is the Sunnah? The practice and activities of our Holy Prophet. We have derived many products from Sunnah. For example, Mudarba. Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did Mudarba with Hazrat Khadija Razidara Anna. So we derived Mudarba from there. Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam built some portion of the Masjid Nabawi, the Prophet Mosque, on the basis of istisna. So we derived istisna product from that practice. Then similarly, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did wakala, and we derive wakala product from the Sunnah as well. So the second source of Islamic microfinance or Islamic banking product is Sunnah. And then Ijma, which is the jurist consensus, and Ijtihad. So basically, these are the sources. That this is again a big question, that how we derived Islamic banking product or Islamic microfinance product. We have been derived Islamic financial product either from Quran, either from Sunnah, either from Ijma, or either from Ijtihad. So these are the sources of Islamic banking product. One of the major difference between the conventional banking and Islamic banking is that the conventional banking is the man-made product, while sometimes we say that Islamic banking is a God-made product because we have derived Islamic banking product from the same sources from where we derived Islamic law, from where we derived the fiqh, because these are the four sources of fiqh as well. So we have been derived these products from the source of fiqh, which is Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, and Ijtihad. And for the your broader understanding, we can categorize Islamic banking product. These are the sources that from where we derive. But for your understanding, we can categorize Islamic banking product into four categories. Some of the Islamic banking product, they are based on the partnership based mechanism. Those products called Mudarba and Musharka. And some of the Islamic banking product, they are made on the basis of trade based product. Those products are Salam, Istasna, Murabia, Muswamia, and many other products. And third types of Islamic banking product are based on renter based mechanism. Those products are Ijara and diminishing Musharka. And in Islamic microfinance, then we also have some charitable models like zakat based model, waqf based model, Qazi Hasan based model, and etc. So we can categorize our Islamic microfinance product either on the basis of partnership based product, on the basis of trade based product, or on the basis of renter based product. And similarly, then we have some charitable model in Islamic microfinance as well. So these are the sources, and that is the product mechanism. What is Murabia, by the way? Murabia, if we see the global Islamic microfinance industry, about 80% financing in Islamic microfinance industry that is based on Murabaha. About 80%, while in Islamic banking industry, about 50% of financing in Islamic banking industry is more than 50% belong to Murabaha. I'm talking about the global statistics. So we can say the Islamic microfinance industry is the Murabia dominated product. That in more than 80% belong to the Murabia. So Murabia is a very good product, whereas a microfinance institution have to sell some asset to their client on profit margin, and microfinance institution have to disclose that profit margin as well. Murabe is very good product whenever your client require to purchase any assets, seed, fertilizer, Chingsi Raksha, Auto Raksha, Samar houses, and etc. etc. And in many countries, this product is being utilized in a very good manner. Then Salam. Salam is again a trade-based product. In Salam, the microfinance institution have to pay 100% payment in advance to their clients. And whatever is the cultivated by the client have to sell that asset to the microfinance institution. Salam is a very good product for agriculture financing, because for agriculture financing, client have to utilize that financing in different tranches. Because in crop production circle, client do not need financing at once. Client needs the financing in different tranches. For example, in the first level, client required financing for leveling of the land, to leveling the land. Then number two, client need the financing for seeds. After 2 months, client need the financing for pesticide. After 3 months, client need the financing for education. then harvesting, then transportation to link their crops from the fields to the markets. So it's mean in a crop production circle, the farmer need financing in different tranches. So if there is a one farmer, how many murabia or ijala he have to do to fulfill their agriculture financing need? Once he have to do murabia for purchase of seed, then he do another murabia for pesticide, for irrigation. So how many product we have to give to the farmer? Very difficult. The solution is salam. You have to give 100% payment in advance to the farmer, and whatever farmer have to produce, he will sell out that asset to the bank or to the microfinance institution on discounted price, and microfinance institution have to sell that asset to the market and recover their principal amount with profit. So salam is a very good product for agriculture, but it is not necessary that salam would be utilized for agriculture. It can be utilized for other purposes as well. Then istasna. In istasna again a trade-based product. By the way, murabia, salam, istasna, all these products are the trade-based product, whereas the microfinance institution and the client have a mechanism of buying and selling. In the case of murabia, the microfinance institution supposed to sell some asset to the client. But in the case of salam and istasna, the client supposed to sell out some asset to the bank. But in salam and istasna, the bank have to pay 100, in the case of salam, 100% payment to the client in advance. But in the case of istasna, it is not necessary that you have to pay 100% payment as advance. You can give that money to your client on tranches as well. But in salam, it is necessary that 100% payment should be made in advance. So salam is very good for agriculture, and istasna is very good for manufacturing. So this is a very good product for Islamic microfinance industry as well. Then leasing, Islamic leasing, ijara. You know very well that there are two types of lease in Islam. Or in the conventional leasing, we can say there are two types of lease. One is called operating lease and second is called the financial lease. Basically, ijara is the operating lease, whereas the microfinance institution or the bank have to give some asset to their clients for operating purposes. So ijara is a very good product, by the way, whereas your client required any durable asset, you have to do ijara with them. By the way, in global Islamic banking industry, as I mentioned, the total size of Islamic banking and finance is about $2.7 trillion. We can see that murabia or trade-based products are dominated, and rest belong to the second largest share in Islamic banking product belong to the ijara, and then diminishing musharka, then mudarba and musharka, and salam and istasna. So this is the global product pie, that how Islamic banking clients have to utilize different type of product. The Diminishing musharka is a very good product for the housing finance, but it can be utilized for other purposes as well. Musharka and mutarba. Unfortunately, the share of musharka and mutarba in Islamic microfinance is very, very, very low, which is less than 2% of the total Islamic microfinance financing. But musharka and mudarba is a very good product for the development of micro entrepreneurship, some startups, and many other business activities. Many banks, including in Pakistan, including in Africa, they are utilizing Mudarba and Musharka. So that was the product mechanism in Islamic microfinance. We have to utilize Murabia. 80% of Islamic microfinance industry belong to Murabaha. Anyhow, in this slide, I just want to explain one thing, that in Islam, basically Islam give us a scientific approach for the poverty alleviation. I believe poverty do not have any religion. Poverty is poverty. We cannot say that this is the Muslim poverty, this is the Christian poverty. No, poverty is poverty. But in certain regions have some guideline that how to address the poverty. Luckily in Islam give us a complete solution for poverty alleviation. Islam give us the scientific approach that how to address poverty issue. Even if you compare Islam with other religions, you have come to know that Islam is the only religion where the poverty alleviation is the religious obligation for the Muslims. That is the religious obligation. While in other regions, the poverty alleviation is not a religious obligation. They have to work for the poverty alleviation for as a social intervention. Therefore, there is a terminology CSR, corporate social responsibility. They said this is our social responsibility, but in Islam, that is not a social responsibility. That is the religious responsibility. For example, we have to pay zakat to the poor. Either zakat is our social obligation or religious obligation. Zakat is our religious obligation. Even curse, even loan is also our religious obligation to give the loan to the needy people. Islam always emphasized to give the loan. Even when Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to Miraj Mubarak, he mentioned that I saw at the door of Jannah, the door of heaven, that there's a written that the benefit of loan is much better than to the sadqa and khairat. Basically, in Islam, the giving the loan is also a religious obligation. So in short, in Islam give us different types of concept that how to address the poverty: zakat, zadka, khairat, ushur, waqf, and many other concepts which is directly belong to the social well-being. Here I want to explain that what Islam says how to address the poverty. One of the major difference between the conventional microfinance and Islamic microfinance is that in conventional microfinance, they have only one product, the interest-based product, and they have to give that product to every poor. But in Islamic microfinance, we have a dedicated product for each segment of the poverty. For example, if a person who is the extreme poor over here, the extreme poor, a person who is living in a far-flung area of Africa or Pakistan, and the person who do not have the shoes in their feet, his feet, Islam says, no, you cannot give them the microfinance. For those segment of society, Islam give us zakat, sadqa, and ushur to bring that person from this level to the next level. While in the conventional microfinance, they have a similar one product, the interest-based financing. Islam says this is those segment of society, the extreme poor, where you cannot do any type of business activity. Even that person do not know how to utilize the money. If you give microfinance to extreme poor people, it's mean that will be NPLs, not performing loans. Your portfolio at risk will be very high. So for those segment of society, Islam gives us zatka, khairat, ushr, zakat. When you bring that poor from that category to the next category, and then from next in these two category, chronic poor and transit poor, Islam says for those segment of the poverty, give them Qarz Hasan, Murabia, Ijara, and Mudarba. Because that is the level of poverty. Because Islam says that you have to understand the level of the poverty first. Then you have to decide that what type of product will be ideal for that segment of the society. So then for transit poor or for chronic poor, Islam gives us Qarz Hasan, Murabia, Ijara, and Mudarba. And when you bring that poor person from that level to the next level, transit poor and non-transit poor, then Islam gives us salam, istasna, and some other products. And when a poor become non-poor and he is no out of the poverty line, then Islam gives us the micro takafir product. So that if a poor become non-poor, you give the micro takafir product. So if there is any uncertainty in their life, any issue with their health, that the takafir company have to compensate to them. Instead of that, if there is, we did one study that what are the reasons that if a poor become non-poor, what are the reasons that that poor dip into the poverty again? So there were three major reasons. In the context of Pakistan, there were three major reasons. Number one, the health issue. If there's any health issue in the family of the poor, with the mother, with the brother, with the children, they have to sell their livestock, their means of earning, and invest that money into the health. Second, the education of the children. Sometimes they have to sell their means of earning and invest that money for the education of the children. And the third reason was the marriage of the female family member, especially in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, because they're supposed to give dowry. So then we have recommended to design micro takaful product, because 71% reason that if a poor become non-poor, why it will become poor again? Due to the health issue. So we have to design, we recommend to design the micro health product for poor people, so that that person not again dip into the poverty. So this is the scientific approach of the poverty alleviation, that what Islam says, how to address the poverty. You have to pick the poor from the extreme poverty level to the next level, next level, next level, and then out of the poverty, and then give them micro takaful product to sustain their life out of the poverty. But if we compare this mechanism with the conventional finance or conventional microfinance, they have only one product, the interest-based product, and they have to utilize that product for each segment of the poverty. What is the purpose of microfinance, by the way? The purpose of microfinance is to keep the graduation, to increase their economic activity or economic life. If any microfinance institution, either Islamic or non-Islamic, if they have to by utilizing the microfinance product, if that poor person not become non-poor within the 3 years, then they have to think about their product. I was in Yemen about 11 years back, 10, 11 years back. At that time, I was conducting one research study for one of my client. I requested to one of the CEO of a conventional microfinance bank that I want to see your client. He bring me in the suburban area of Sana'a. Sana'a is the capital of Yemen. He called one person from a very small shop, and literally that shop was made with the stones. When that person came out from that stone-based small shop, he said, this is my client. This is client of my microfinance bank from last 10 years. I was surprised to see that person. That person even do not at that time didn't have the proper cloth. And when I entered his shop, and the total inventory of that shop was about $40 to $50. I observed that person is in the extreme poverty level. And I was surprised that this person is the extreme poor right now. What was its economic life when he entered to that bank? It means there's no poverty level other than the extreme poverty. If he is the extreme poverty level right now and within the 10 years, he is still extreme poor, then what is the purpose of such type of microfinance? He was extreme poor, and after 10 years, he's still extreme poor. So this is not a purpose of microfinance. What is the purpose of microfinance? To graduate your client from one economic level to the next economic level. If you are unable to graduate your client, it means you have to think about your microfinance product. You have to investigate, you have to conduct some research that why your financial product is not giving any economic impact in your economic life of your clients. Anyhow, this is the approach that how Islam says that how to address poverty issues. I was seeing that we have a lot of Muslims and non-Muslim brothers and sisters in this webinar through the Zoom and through the Facebook Live as well. So let me rectify one misconception. This is a big misconception that Islamic microfinance or Islamic banking and finance is only for Muslim. No, 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 no. Islamic finance is a system. Islamic microfinance is a system which can be utilized or operated by Muslims and non-Muslims. Yes, for Muslims, they have an extra benefit that it is according to their religious beliefs. But for non-Muslims, it is a very good system for banking, finance, or microfinance. So Islamic microfinance or Islamic banking and its finance is solution for all, not only for Muslims. For example, I have an Android phone, and that Android system is made by non-Muslims. And I, being the Muslim, I'm the utilizer of that system on daily basis. About 300 times I have to utilize Android. Either being a non-Muslim system, I am the Muslim. This system is designed by non-Muslims. I'm utilizer of that system. Either that system affect to my religion? No. I'm the utilizer of the system. Similarly, if any non-Muslim brother or sister may utilize Islamic banking or Islamic microfinance product, it will not affect to their religions. They are only utilizer of the system. So we have to promote Islamic microfinance for solution for all. There are certain factors which need to be considered while doing Islamic microfinance, that all the financing should be free from interest. These are some factors which we should consider while doing Islamic microfinance. We have to utilize micro takaful instead of micro insurance. The contract and mechanism should be free from error, free from any ambiguity, any uncertainty, and etc. The Sharia compliant fund, whatever fund we have to utilize over there, those funds should be Sharia compliant. Sharia vetted product, that all the product which we have to utilize, those products should be Sharia vetted. Sharia compliant investment, that all the investment should be Sharia compliant. Quality human resource and ensure Sharia compliance in every aspect of microfinance business. So these are the some basically factor which we need to be considered while doing Islamic microfinance. And by the way, these are the similar factor which we need to be considered while doing Islamic banking and finance as well. These are the some statistics about demand of Islamic microfinance. There are different studies which have been conducted by different multilateral organizations, including CCAP, Planet Finance, USAID, IFC, and many others. And they conducted different studies and surveys where they got very good responses that people prefer Islamic microfinance than to the conventional microfinance. This is a global spectrum of Islamic microfinance institution. About 400 to 500 microfinance institutions are working in different countries, and we have evidence that many multilateral organizations, they are utilizing Islamic microfinance products for poverty alleviation. Like World Bank have a very good portfolio for Islamic microfinance, USAID, GIZ, IFAT, and many other multilateral organizations. They are working for the development of Islamic microfinance for poverty alleviation and financial inclusion, because they know that if they want to reduce the poverty from the Muslim countries, then they have to introduce such type of microfinancing product which are in accordance with their religious belief. Therefore, Islamic microfinance is promoting all over the world. In Indonesia, here are the some countries and the institutions name which are working in those countries for Islamic microfinance. In Indonesia, they have a specialized mechanism on the basis of BMTs, Baitul Mal wal Tamwil, in Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Malaysia, India, Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, South Africa, UK, Tanzania, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Senegal, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, Uganda, and many other countries. You can find a very good Islamic microfinance institution. Yes, after 10 minutes, after the concluding of the slides, I will go for the question and answer, definitely. And one of the beauty of Islamic microfinance product is that Islamic microfinance product are compatible with any microcredit lending model, because there are different credit lending model which are being utilized in microfinance industry in all over the world. For example, in Africa, the most of the microfinance institution, they are based on as a cooperative society, as a SACCOs. In Europe and America, the microfinance industry belong to the credit unions. In Pakistan, in India, we have to utilize either Grameen model, credit lending model, or village banking credit lending model, or self-help group. So in different countries, they have a different mechanism for microfinancing. But the beauty of Islamic microfinance product is that Islamic microfinance products are compatible with any microcredit lending model. Islamic banking products or Islamic microfinance product are compatible with Grameen model. I gave the example of Amana Iftikhar in Malaysia. They are utilizing Grameen model, or even Islamic Bank Bangladesh. They are utilizing Grameen model but offering Islamic microfinance product. It means Islamic microfinance product are workable with Grameen model. Similarly, Islamic microfinance products are workable with village banking model. The Finca is the one of the largest replicator of village banking model all over the world, but Finca is doing Islamic banking, Islamic microfinance in Afghanistan. So Islamic microfinance products are compatible or workable with village banking model, and similarly Islamic banking products are workable with credit union model. I gave you example of Muslim Credit Union Tobago, that is the credit union but offering Islamic microfinance product. Similarly, Islamic microfinance products are workable with cooperative model, because about 70% of microfinance institutions in Africa are based on the cooperative model, on the basis of cooperative or SACCOs and many other different names they have. I gave you one example of Albalka Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society Mauritius, that is the cooperative society but offering Islamic microfinance product. Similarly, the self-help group and for-profit banks and microfinance institutions. So whatever model you have for microfinancing, the Islamic microfinance is compatible with them. Here is the size. I already mentioned you what is the size of Islamic financial industry and etc. And by the way, right now we have experienced that there is a Islamic microfinance in more than, or Islamic banking and finance is in more than 100 countries. And by the way, due to a limitation of time, I'm escaping some of the slides. Let's have some challenges and opportunity. We have to discuss that what are the challenges and what are the opportunities which are pertaining in microfinance industry. One of the major challenges is non-availability of donor and Sharia compliant source of fund. Number two, need to develop a uniform regulatory and legal framework for Islamic micro and agricultural finance. Number three, the accounting, IT system and rating agencies are unfortunately not available in Islamic microfinance industry. Number five, lack of quality human resource. That is another challenge. Then standardization of the product. Even in Murabia, we have different variations. In different countries, they have a different type of Murabia, by the way. So we need to standardize the product as well. And I'm sure and I'm optimistic that OFI is playing a vital role for the standardization of the product by issuing different standards, the standards for accounting, standard for auditing, and standard for Sharia. Reluctance in research and implementation of the new product, as only Murabia is serving almost 80% of Islamic micro and agricultural and rural finance industry. So we need to introduce the new product range as well. There are some specific product for Islamic agricultural finance in Islam, which is called Musaka, Muzara, Mughalsa. We have to utilize those concepts as well. And we need to develop the Sharia expertise towards the growth of Islamic micro and agricultural finance as well. So these are the some challenges which belong to the Islamic microfinance industry. And I believe where there is the challenges and there are some opportunities as well. Number one is the Islamic Development Bank have a microfinance development program. By having that program, they have to provide funding opportunities to different microfinance institutions all over the world for Islamic microfinance. There is a one Islamic microfinance network. This is we can say association for Islamic microfinance institution. So that network is playing a very vital role in Pakistan. Government of Pakistan and State Bank have a very supportive role for the development of industry, and similarly, I observed the same in many other countries as well. And Islamic microfinance is a very good product for expansion of market, where the conventional agri-finance product face limitation, especially in Muslim majority countries. AlHuda Center for Islamic Banking and Economics, we have a one dedicated department with the name of Center of Excellence in Islamic Microfinance, and we try our level of best to design new products for microfinance, to design new product for agriculture finance, to design new product for micro takaful, and many other products for poverty alleviation, social development, and economic development. And development of fintech industry, yes, this is another opportunity that we can utilize, and we can integrate our Islamic microfinance product with the technology. So these are the some details about Islamic microfinance, that how Islamic microfinance industry is working, what are the dynamic of Islamic microfinance industry, what is their product mechanism, how we have derived Islamic banking product, and what are the opportunities and challenges. So thank you very much for your valuable time to, to be with me in this presentation. Now we are open for question and answers. The people who want to have a question, they are requested to raise their hands so that we can have a question one by one. Yes, brother Majidu Salim, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam.
So I would like you to elaborate. Actually, I want you to elaborate about the
Brother
agriculture.
Majid, can you speak a bit loudly?
I would like you to elaborate about the agriculture finance and Sharia, where you talked about AlHuda coming up with a form or with a method of helping, especially farmers who deal in cereals. Could you please elaborate about it? Because I didn't understand it very well.
Brother Majid, your voice is very low. Can you write your question at the chat box, please?
Okay, sir. Let me try to raise it out.
Meanwhile, Mohammad Jata Tom, you are requested to unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Alan, our brother Zubair Mugar, how are you?
Yes, my brother.
Hello?
Yes, we are listening you.
Alhamdulillah, thanks for the wonderful presentation and insightful. You always be on the top in terms of presentation of Islamic finance, and your work have been very well accepted globally. Thank you so much. The first question I want to ask is that AlHuda is one of the base institutions in terms of enhancing non-interest banking. So you did many certification. So if I may ask, is there any certification in Sharia audit? Only certification in Sharia audit?
Okay. Thank you, brother Muhammad. Unfortunately, we do not have a dedicated certification for Sharia audit, and basically OFI is a Bahrain-based organization. which means accounting and auditing organization for Islamic financial institution. They have a dedicated certification for auditing. If you visit their website, you will find their couple of courses and certifications for the auditors. At the platform of AlHuda Center for Islamic Banking and Economics, we have to provide some certificate program on digital learning basis for Islamic banking, for the Kaful, for Islamic Microfinance, for Islamic fund management, and for the Sukuk. We have 5 online programs, but we do not have any certificate program for Sharia audit. And the OFI basically have such type of programs.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, brother Muhammad Ghafran, please, you can unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
Sir, I have a question regarding investment related. Sir, I am investing different stocks, different commodities, also investing in Pakistan Stock Exchange on Islamic products. Sir, in previous some months, I have conducting some sessions with people and giving knowledge of Islamic products, Islamic investments. But people wish to invest on myself with partnerships. Sir, kindly suggest some partnership tools, how to manage them, and how to their investment in a real form. Because sometimes I have no time according to investment, because some of the mutual funds working on them, but some people do not trust him. Major of the things uh, individuals must trust each other.
Yes, brother. In Islam, basically, in Islam, we have a long range of partnership-based product. For example, Mudarba. Mudarba is a partnership whereas one party contribute to the capital and second party contribute to the skills. Then Musharka. Musharka is a partnership where the all two or more than two parties they have to contribute into the capital. And then Mugharsa, that is the orchard financing on the partnership basis. Then Muzara, that is the agriculture crop share financing on Islamic mode. So in Islam, we have a complete list of partnership-based product but for the investment purposes in Pakistan, Musharka and Mutarba is very much famous. And if you see in different asset management companies in Pakistan and abroad, they have Musharka certificate, they have a Mudarpa certificate, and they have a different types of instruments. So yes, those type of products are available. And even in Pakistan on 1984, we have experience of the Mudarba's companies as well. So in Pakistan, we have a very good products for the profit and loss sharing. For example, in Mudarba, the rule of partnership in Islam based on two things, that profit should be distributed according to the mutual will of the partner, but the loss always distributed according to the investment ratio. This is the rule in of partnership in Islam. Therefore, if you see in Murabia, in Mudarba, if there is any loss, 100% loss goes to the you can say to the investor, because this is a rule in Islam that 100% loss should be paid by the capital provider Rabbul Mal. So you can check out different types of asset management companies. I did one exercise in Pakistan. Right now, 27 Islamic funds are available. And in Pakistan stock market, we have one Islamic index as well. So we have a very good Islamic capital market. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank
So
you,
we have one question at the chat box. This question is from Sister Varelia from Argentina. She's mentioned, Salam, I am Varelia from Argentina. Can implement this Islamic bank in different countries, no Islamic bank like my country. Yes, I can understand that in Latin American countries there is a very limited uh, Islamic banking product. By the way, on 20th of this month we have America's Islamic Banking and Finance Forum on 20th of November, in which we have five eminent speakers from America, from Canada, America, and some other American countries. So you are requested to join us in that event. If even you see in America, in USA, because when we talk about Americas, and they have North America, they have Latin America, South America, and etc. But in North America, including Canada and USA, we calculated that there are 51 Islamic financial institutions are working in North America. So yes, in North America, you have a very good Islamic banking product, but in South or Latin America, you do not have a good infrastructure of Islamic financial product. Although Argentina have a very big share in halal industry, because Argentina is exporting a lot of dairy, lot of meat, and buy dairy product in Muslim countries. Yes, they have a very good share in the halal industry, but unfortunately, they do not have a share in Islamic banking industry. And then there's a question from Adama: how can we share the slide? Are you going to send to our various email? Yes, we will share this slide in your email addresses, or alternatively, I am sharing this slide here in the chat box as well. You can take the slide and downloading this slide from here as well. Yes, any other question? Yes, please, you can take the slide from the chat box as well. And we have to upload these slides in our Facebook, and we will share that slide through emails as well. And for our virtual interns, we will share this slide through our WhatsApp group as well. So thank you very much for your valuable time, and Jazakallah, and inshallah ta'ala to have another webinar with you very soon. Tomorrow we have a one webinar for halal industry, and then on 20th of November we have Americans Islamic Finance Forum. You are requested to join us in those programs as well. Thank you very much. Jazakallah, and very good afternoon, the people who joined us from Africa. Very good evening, the people who joined us from Asian side. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.